Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nomadic Diaries. My name is Doreen Cumberford, and I would like to introduce my show host for the day. And this is the incredible Sharon Fields. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Doreen.
And so, this particular conversation today is designed with the intention to introduce you to Sharon. We are participating in something called NapodPoMo, which is a National Podcasters Promotion Month. And this means that we have taken on the challenge of producing one podcast every single day for 30 days in November. However, what we failed to do was to introduce ourselves at the beginning, and we're now halfway through the month. So better late than never. I'm going to introduce my co-host and ask her some questions about her life story so you can find out more about her and her motivations, her journey, her life journey, her motivations, and what she's anticipating with this podcast. So thank you, Sharon, for being on the hot seat today.
I'm very excited. I always want to share the stories with everyone.
That's great. You're so generous and so giving. And I think that is will be a benefit to all of our listeners as we go through some of these questions today. Tell us a little bit about your mini life story.
Okay. So I grew up in the state of Alabama in the USA, moved to Dallas in 1979 when Dallas was really growing and the hot spot to be. Started working for attorneys and just went on from there. Started going to paralegal school at night. Had a marriage dissolve. And so then I moved down to the hill country of Texas and was living in the small town life, married again, had a child, had the most perfect son that anyone could ever have. So I only had one. Then just kept in the legal profession, city attorney, county judge, independent attorney who had her ranch next to the Lyndon Baines Johnson Ranch out in Stonewall, Texas. Living the life, then had yet another divorce. So that's two under my belt. And then
I had forgotten this about you.
Yes. So we all have stories to tell, some that we don't want to tell all the time, but I'm just giving the highlights. Went through the divorce, was a single mom, then went to work in the financial industry. It was a corporate investment company there in Fredericksburg, Texas. Remarried, finally found the love of my life, my best friend. We were married. He was great dad to my son. And then he got cancer, in unexpected, very rare form of cancer. So
how long were you married for?
We were married 14 years and together 16 years.
Well, that gives us an idea, an idea of sort of the pace of that.
Right.
And so you had been through this professional training, working mostly in the legal profession, and then you segued into the financial part. And
right.
So what was it that led you into your nomadic journey?
Well, when my husband passed away after a 2-year bout with the cancer, my son was grown and gone, and I realized that I was, at a point where I could start over in life. And you go through a lot of thinking, what do I really want to do? What would I really enjoy doing? How can I make this happen? And I started Googling, and found house and pet sitting. So I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I like to take care of people. I like to take care of things. I'm very task oriented. And I started house sitting locally in Fredericksburg, Texas. And
what year was this, please?
oh
to give us
gosh,
a date.
2011, 2012, 2012.
About 12 years ago. Okay.
Yes. Realized that the more I did it, the more I liked it. So I applied for a house sit in the United Kingdom, in England. And that was my first international house sit.
How fun.
Yes. Loved it. Found a community of support within the house sitting, other house sitters. And that really is so important, to have support and friends no matter where you are in the world and what you're doing.
Absolutely. And building community, finding your tribe, especially when you're a single woman and you are on a nomadic journey. So you started your pet sitting journey overseas in England. And how many years did you spend gone on your pet sitting journey?
Well, I've now completed 11 years full time, and the past 3 years here in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico.
Which is where we're recording from.
Yes. And where Doreen and I became very good friends and started brainstorming of ideas that we would like to pursue in our third chapter.
That's correct. I think we actually talked about starting a podcast in November or December, and I don't know why I had so much resistance for so long. Because like most podcasters, I think I'm really glad that I started. Are you glad you started?
I am. I'm one of these that it sounds like great idea. Let's do it. And so we kind of jumped into it, and then we found that there's quite a lot to it.
Yeah, we're learning and growing. And so you did this pet sitting and house sitting journey. Was it in Europe? Before we get a little ahead of it, did you go beyond Europe? Where else did you go?
Mostly in Europe, yes.
Mostly Europe, okay.
Yeah.
And
I have to say I was headed to Asia when COVID hit.
Ah, yes.
And that detoured me. Yeah, that detoured me to Mexico.
Yes. That was quite the year that was. And so you have been on this journey for so long, and now you've started a brand new journey in your third chapter. Tell us about how it feels to be starting a different kind of journey, and how it feels to be challenged so much.
I'm enjoying it. I think it's fantastic. It makes me feel younger. Just this week, I have moved into my own apartment here in San Miguel, so I'm not going to be doing as much house sitting. I'm sure I will still want to do some, with the pets. I will miss them. But it's so exciting to start doing a podcast with you at this point in our lives, to be learning new things, to staying up with the new trends and and just starting all over again. It's so fantastic that we can have a lot of different phases in our one lifetime.
Yes, it is, isn't it? And I like the idea of using the terminology third chapter, because as a writer, of course, when you write a chapter, it's a complete entity in its own. And then when you turn that last page and you have a blank page, then there's like a new sense of creativity that has to flow in order to start the next chapter. So are you feeling like this is a more creative time in your life?
Well, I hope so. I've never been a very creative person, not like you and your writing and your, so I'm hoping maybe my creativity is in the technology, in the behind the scenes technology of the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. I think that creativity actually emerges even in our use of technology. It's like how we use technology can be creative. And the fact that we're using, you're using different platforms, different things. I think that it's really important to our aged brains to be doing, my aged brain to be doing this.
Well, and I really like the term rewiring.
Yes.
You rewire that old way of thinking that you reach a certain age and you can't do anything. Well, that's not true,
Exactly. You just want to do different things.
Yes. Yes.
And they're not bad or good. They're just different. It's not more or less or down or up. It's just different. And I think owning that process is a great sense.
And at least trying, just try.
Yes. So tell us about your relationship with the city of San Miguel and how that is going.
Well, I think it's going quite well. You hear the term that San Miguel is a magical city. And what does that really mean? I think maybe everybody has a different experience. Mm-hmm. It's certainly a beautiful, historic, colonial Mexican town. Mm-hmm. There are comfort levels here because there are a lot of expats.
Yes.
But there are also a lot of choices and experiences that everyone can have. There's a lot of opportunities in the arts, in the outdoors, lifestyle. So it's, I think there's that comfort level. I got here and I was comfortable.
Yes. It's like I was reading about in one of the authors whom we have interviewed and will be publishing next month. Her name is Rachel Kaysen. And she was talking about the chameleonness that we have. I mean, we're different. You're probably different when you're back home in Texas. And I certainly feel very different when I'm back home in Scotland. And so we all have that level of chameleonness. But when a chameleon is angry or unhappy in his environment, he turns black. He turns dark gray or black. And when we are in an environment that we love, we tend to be all glowy and colorful. And, do I want to be turquoise? Do I want to be green today? That sort of thing. And I kind of get the sense that you and I both have had that experience here in San Miguel.
Well, it's a colorful city, that's for sure. And, I remember telling my mom the first time, she said, it seems like you're very happy there. And I said, when you go out in the morning and the sun is shining and all the flowers are blooming year round, and the weather is practically the same year round, and people that you don't know say buenos dias or good morning to you, how do you not be happy?
Yes.
How do you not enjoy something like that?
Yeah, it's a very welcoming experience.
It is.
To live here. So, well, I, for one, I'm very glad that we met here and that we've started this enterprise called Nomadic Diaries. And I know that we each have a vision for where this podcast will go. But what message would you like to give our listeners today?
Well, I'd like everyone to realize that there are opportunities out there, that life is what you make it, and you can enjoy just the simple things. And everyone should enjoy their life. We all know life is short. It can be short, and you never know what tomorrow will bring.
That's very true. So the wisdom and the brilliance of Sharon Fields on Nomadic Diaries for today. And thank you, listeners. Please join us in some of our other episodes as we go through this month and in the future. Normally, we broadcast one podcast a week with a featured guest. And we would really love to hear, to have you subscribe or listen or give us any feedback that you have. Buenos dias. Thank you for coming. And thank you very much, Sharon, for sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me here. And I hope we can continue to inspire our listeners.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, all.